Good morning, everyone. Leah Dixon from Port Coquitlam, British Columbia, here to do some Wednesday morning crafting with you. So every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m., I go live and I always have either some new card ideas, card class to go, kits, paper pumpkins, like you name it. So today was supposed to be my paper pumpkin video with the new June paper pumpkin. But mine has got stuck in Winnipeg. So it's supposed to arrive on Monday now. So instead, I've got the Timeless Greetings kit for you. And I actually thought this was perfect because we have so many new kits on the Stampin' Up website. But we also have a lot of previous kits that are really, really awesome. Today's Timeless Greetings kit is a little bit of an older one. I'd say it's about a year old. But what I love about it is that it's a masculine card kit. It's got globes and clocks and brown and black coloring and everything to it. And I do find masculine cards a little bit trickier to create. So I was super happy about this one. So I'm going to switch over to my desktop. We're going to open up this kit and start crafting. So let's see here. There we go. And so with our kits, you can see them online. You can see everything that's going to come in your kit. And basically you get everything you need except for a pair of scissors and your cleaner, your chamois. So you get your stamp set. And this one has the clock and the globe, as well as a happy birthday, thanks, I can always count on you, time to celebrate, and you make the world a better place. So lots of great sentiments and two great images in this one. You also get an ink spot. So now this is actually a retired color called Soft Suede. I happen to have my larger ink pad of it. But if this is a color that you actually didn't get your hands on prior to it retiring, you can still get the Stampin' spot for it in this kit. So that's kind of a nice little bonus. The kits come all wrapped up in like all the paper bits wrapped up in a plastic packaging, which is really nice. So they won't get wrecked in like if you've got bad weather and stuff where you are at, because I know here a lot of the year we have really rainy days, and I've had a few, not so much kits, but paper pumpkins arrive. Really, the boxes have been quite destroyed by the weather. So nice that my product is still fine. All right, we have our embellishments in here. These are these great little, I think that's copper, maybe it's brass, little diamonds. You do get your block in your kits. So unlike paper pumpkins where you only get it with your first kit, in our regular kits, you always get a new block as well. So that's always nice to build up your stash. We've got this really cool like metal plate kind of look in black and gray. So we're going to need those pieces. You get your adhesives. I always love the envelopes in these kits because they're always decorated. And these ones, they've actually decorated the outside. Sometimes it's the inside they decorate. So these ones, it's the whole thing in kind of that metal plate in the soft suede coloring. And then we've got our card bases. And so our bases are this kind of soft suede crumb cake, like brushed base. And this kit comes with a lot of like pop-outs and stuff. So banners and brass coated or brass outlined labels, the background for our clocks and our globes, and some more adhesive. We've got the mini glue dots, and then some more globes. Oh, and the watches. Yeah, there we go. And those are silver. Yeah. So that's it for our kit, all the contents. Now we get to start crafting. And so we always get the instructions here as well. And so this basically makes 4 of 2 different card designs. And then you can, of course, change up the sentiment that you want on it. But we've got 2 basic designs, the globe and the watch. And then you can make 4 of each. Now, in my true fashion, I am not going to use the card bases as they come. I am going to cut them up and mount them onto cardstock. So I will show you how I do that. Oh, good morning, Gail. So this card base is like a full card base like this. And so then you would have the decorative background as well on your card. But I do find that this paper is a little bit thin. And the other thing I find with this is that it's such a waste to put that pretty design on the back. I'd rather just have plain cardstock on the back and be able to use that as a second layer. So what I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to take this and I'm going to trim this down into 2 4 by 5 1/4 pieces. So I'm just going to pop over to my my trimmer and do that. And then in terms of the card base, you're really going to have a lot of choices as to what you want to use for that. You can just use basic white, basic black. But I am actually going to put mine. If you have any leftover soft suede, you could do that as well. I'm just going to put mine onto a crumb cake base, though. There we go. So I've just grabbed a crumb cake base here. So I've actually grabbed 2 bases for our 2 cards. And so I've got one folded this way and one folded the other way. We actually don't need the 2 different folds. We could just do it with one in one direction. So here we go. So I've got my crumb cake card base. And if you've not got any other adhesives, you can use the mini glue dots to glue this down. I do have other adhesives though, so I'm going to grab my liquid glue and I'm going to glue that down. And although you can write on the crumb cake, I like a finished card. So I am actually going to also glue a piece of basic white to the inside. So this does add a few materials to your kit if you're wanting to do these kind of alterations, but it also allows you to get a lot more use out of your kit because you can make twice as many cards. So I kind of like that. Now, if you don't want to do this, then that's totally fine. You're just going to take a card base as is and start crafting on it. So there we go. I've created my new card base. And now we're going to get started. So I do like to actually use the instructions. They're full colored instructions. And they get right down to like where should you apply your adhesives and which adhesives should you apply. They show you exactly where to stamp and all of that. So they're letting us know that we should be applying our piece of metal plate to our card front using dimensional. So this is actually going to be popped up on our card. So I'm going to grab the dimensionals they gave us and put one in each corner. And one in the center. There we go. Okay, come on. Peel those off. All right. And then, as best you can, center this on your card front. There we go. Hi, Gail. Thanks for watching. All right, so that is our base all set up. Now we're going to grab our pieces to build our globe. So we're going to come in here and grab one of these silver globes. There we go. And we also want to grab the part of the globe that's going to go on there. And we will also need one of our labels. So there's two sizes of labels here. There's kind of a thicker one, and you get 3 of them, and then, or sorry, 5 of them, and then a thinner one, and you get 5 of them. So you actually will have 1 extra. So we're going to use the wider, I think we're using the wider. No, sorry. We're using the thinner one for this card. There we go. Put that to the side for when we do our clock. All right, so we're using the thinner label. And now the sentiment they're recommending is you make the world a better place, which I think is so lovely. This could be a Father's Day card. I mean, it just passed by. It could also be a great end of year card for a teacher, or just a thank you card in general. So we've got that. I'm going to grab my soft suede ink. I'm going to ink up that sentiment and stamp that in the center. There we go. So you make the world a better place. Now, like I was saying before, don't worry if you don't have soft suede from before. You're going to get the ink spot in your kit, so you're good to go for the stamping. All right, now, what did I do with that block? There we go. We're going to put our globe together, which means we need the image of the world, and we need our globe. Now, I'm going to try to kind of turn this because there is kind of some shading that, I don't know, it is watercolored, but it kind of looks to me like it matches up with like where it should be lighter and darker for the oceans and all that. There we go. So I'm sure it doesn't really matter. We're going to ink up. Whoa, sorry. I'm going to turn that around. I'm going to ink up our globe. And then stamp that onto our paper. There we go. And now we have our beautiful little earth there. I did get some ink on my desktop, so I'll just wipe that up. Okay, so now that we've got that stamped, I'm going to put away our ink for a moment, and we're going to put our card together. So we've got the mini glue dots that we're going to put on the back of this. And even if you've got your own adhesives at home, I really do not recommend using liquid glue to do this, because liquid glue and anything metallic, because we're going to be putting this onto a metallic piece, I find if you get any glue where you don't want it, it kind of ruins the metallic finish and doesn't look very nice. So I always am hesitant to do anything where it might do that. So we want to center this on the globe part. And now this little piece we're also going to put down just with mini glue dots, because we're going to put our sentiment over top with dimensionals. So we don't need it all like dimensional on top of dimensional. I know sometimes I get crazy and do that, but we're going to follow the rules this time. All right, so we've got all those pieces there. And if your mini glue dots kind of roll a bit, don't worry about it. They don't have to lay perfectly flat. They're still going to be sticky, and it actually gives it a little bit of like height. All right, so we're going to come on here, try and make it look like that's sitting on a table, like, so keep it flat. And there we go. And now this piece we will put on with dimensionals. Oh, actually, sorry, I missed a spot. We also want to grab one of these with the more reddish wood. And so we are going to kind of put these together like that. So we're going to put some mini glue dots on the back of our sentiment and then dimensionals on the back of the lot of it. So just a couple here. Oops. There we go. No, I did that on the wrong side. Whoops. All right, move those over. So they should be on what would be the bottom of your sentiment. Whoops. Okay, there we go. That way, when we go like this, it sticks together. There we go. Then I'll flip over the whole thing and I'll put my dimensionals on the back here. So one over there, one over here, and one kind of in the middle. There we go. All right, and now this whole piece will get attached to our card front. And we're actually going to put it like kind of over like this. So it's covering up part of our globe. Just like, oh, is that straight? No, that's totally not straight. Oh, yikes. Okay. There we go. All right, so pop that on like that. And then finally, we're going to grab our embellishments and add some of these to our card. There we go. So we're going to grab these. I'm actually going to grab my Take Your Pick tool to do this part. And, oops. I'm going to put two up here. Just kind of stagger them. And then we're going to grab a third one and put it down here. Oops. So I am trying to get them to kind of stand tall on my card. There we go. All right, and that is our first card from this kit completed. So it's a pretty quick, easy kit to put together and a really nice look. All right, set that one off to the side and we'll grab our materials for our second one. Now our second one, I'm going to change up just a little bit. They want it to be a tall card. I'm going to make it a horizontal card. All right, so if you want to just use your card base, you can. I'm going to just jazz this one up a bit, again, with that crumb cake base. But I'm doing just like gluing this to the front to create just that regular background. And I'm also going to take, oh, a white piece from the inside. All right, because that is the one nice thing about the paper pumpkin and the card kit cards is even if the front is colored, I always make sure that the inside is white, which is lovely for writing in them. All right, so now we have our card base ready to go. We're going to grab one of these pieces. Oh, there's two designs. Ha ha ha. It's not all metal. There we go. I was just looking at the picture. I'm like, oh, that seems odd. And we're going to put that one in again with dimensionals like we did for the first card. All right. So just like that. There we go. And that. Ugh, sticking to my fingers. Okay, so once we've got that created, we can start working on the elements that are going to go on to this one, which is a watch, like an old-fashioned pocket watch. So I'm going to push that out to the side and bring in our pieces to stamp on. So we have this cool clock face. There we go. And I'm going to grab our sentiment piece. And now this one, we have the metal that goes around our clock, and we also have the chain. Here we go. Just like that. All right. So that's all of our pieces used. And now we get to do our stamping. So I'm just going to, so the one thing no kits come with is your cleaner. So if you don't have a cleaner at all at home, you can just run them under water and the ink will come off because it's water soluble. But I do love having the chamois so that I'm not always up and over to my kitchen sink and then having to wait for stamps to dry as well. This way they're just dry and ready to go. All right, now I'm going to grab my Time to Celebrate stamp. And I'm also going to clean up that globe image. And grab the clock. All right. So, the clock on there. Put away that globe image. And the globe is really nice and easy to make your own globes after the fact because you just need a circle punch. So that's kind of nice. All right. So now we're going to grab our clock. Oh, yay. And I want to kind of line up so that one of the hands is going between those two and then the other hands are going up. And then get all the numbers on the circle face. So it's a little bit of lining up, but it's a clear stamp, so it's pretty easy to do. So let's ink up the image. Okay. And then I am just finding the center, lining that up so it goes between. Now there is a dot in the very center of our stamp, so it makes it very easy to center this. There we go. Nice. All right, so that is our clock, and then we're going to stamp our sentiment. So we needed the wider banner for our sentiment because we're using the Time to Celebrate sentiment, and so it's a little bit, it's 2 lines, so a little bit wider. There we go. Time to Celebrate. Fantastic. All right, and now we just get to put this one together. So again, we're going to use mini glue dots on the back of our clock to attach it to the metal piece. Now, when you do this, you do want to pay attention to the numbers on your clock. It'd look kind of funny if you didn't have the 12 up at the top. So we're going to take our adhesives off, but before we stick this down, we're going to take a good look at our numbers. There's our 12. So I'm going to put the 12 up at the top of our clock. There we go. All right. With that done, I'm now going to put some mini glue dots on the back of my chain. Now, the mini glue dots fit perfectly in the end of our chain and on the loop-de-loo of our chain. So that's where we're going to put those. And then we will put dimensionals on the back of our actual stopwatch. And, oops, I forgot a piece again. We've got that sheet that has the colored backgrounds. This time we're going to grab the green. And we're going to do that same kind of layering, just like that. Now, I think I'm actually going to be super lazy. I'm not even going to bother with the mini glue dots. I'm going to line it up how I want it, flip it over, and I'm going to use my dimensionals like tape and just go over where the two meet. Actually, that's going to be fine. So there we go. Now those are just held together by the dimensionals themselves. All right. Now we get to build our card. Now they've built the card so that your sentiment goes up here and your watch goes down here like that. Okay, that's how they've built the card. I am just going to turn it. Maybe I'm not. I'll show you. Maybe. Well, maybe I won't. Okay, we're just going to do a card like this. It doesn't really fit the way I wanted to do it, so that's okay. We'll keep the card the original design. I just have my opening is slightly different. That's fine. All right, so we're going to build it just like they did. So it's just a matter right now of taking off our backings so that everything will stick to our card. Okay, here we go. Just like that. And then for this one, I'm going to do the watch first and the chain second. So I'm going to kind of position the chain how I think I want it. And then I'm going to position my clock. And now I can come in and take off the backings and stick that down. So we're going to have the chain kind of going off of our black background. But we want to make sure that that lines up there and that both sticky parts end up on the card front. There we go. So just like that. And then the final step to this card is to put our embellishments on it. Again, we're going to use 3. This time we're going to use 2 down here and 1 up here. And in that kind of like upright way. Okay. Get them to stand tall. This is where using the take your pick tool comes in handy, because you can really see how it's adhering to the card front and really kind of twist around and get it the way you want it. And there we go. All right. And so that is our second card. So there's the 2 designs. And then, of course, you can switch up the sentiments that go on them. There's also the thanks and the happy birthday. You could also stamp those on the insides of these cards if you wanted. And yeah, they're just really nice masculine cards. And so that is the Timeless Greetings kit. I am going to try and go live on Monday night, if my paper pumpkin kit arrives, to do the paper pumpkin video that I had hoped to be able to do this morning. Otherwise, I'll be live next Wednesday at 9 a.m. and I'm doing a 1 layout, 3 cards video. So the layout's on page 22 of Stampin' Up's annual catalog. I've got one of those chosen, and I'm going to show you 3 different cards that have quite different looks using one of those layouts. All right. So thanks so much for joining me. Do remember that this month we have 10% off our bundles, our new bundles. So that's in addition to the discount that bundles already have. So take a look at our bundle section and take advantage of that sale. That 10% off is also on our die cutting machines, both the minis in white or blue and the large Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So if you don't own one or want a second one, I know I always like having a second one when people come over to craft, then, now is a great time with that 10% discount. So I'll see you all hopefully Monday night. Hopefully my kit arrives. And I hope you're all having a great June. I know ours has been busy with grad ceremonies and birthdays and year end and report cards, but it's all been fun stuff. Well, not the report cards, but everything else has been all fun stuff. And yeah, a few more celebrations to go. So I'll see you all next Wednesday. Bye.